Howdy, I'm Dr. George Valdez. I'm doing this video to give a brief introduction of who I am, who we are, what we do, and how and why we do it. Briefly, I was born and raised in Houston. I went to Texas A&M for college, went up to University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston for medical school, where my grandmother lived at the time. I went up to New Hampshire to do my residency at Dartmouth. I completed my hospice and palliative care board certification as well, followed by my MBA at FIU in Miami. I've been in practice since 2002. Initially, I practiced full scope family medicine. I loved everything in all ages all the time. And then in 2015, I started following a few patients that were starting to move into senior living facilities. And I noticed some of the challenges by staff members, the disconnected care, the delays in treatment. And I noticed that families struggle to take on care of their complicated loved ones and feeling the need to be a medical expert suddenly and responsible for these very fragile, very complicated people. And with all these challenges of communication, getting to hospitals and specialists, I started to build care and systems around this. And in 2020, I decided to focus fully on it because I didn't see anybody else doing this. This is where my heart is. And so I was doing telemedicine and artificial intelligence 3 years before the pandemic. And so I tend to be very tech savvy and tech forward and bringing the most advanced systems possible. And you'll see us constantly adding and improving our systems. Because I have over 20 years of cultivated respect and trust with specialists, we have now 16 different specialties that we can bring in person through telemedicine or just conveying care. We can bring 16 different specialties to you where you're at. I have privileges at every single hospital system in the area, and in 2022 I realized that we're the only practice in the nation that does this multi-specialty care with so many resources and systems. And so with that in mind, we started building this exclusive building arrangement where we realized that when we're the only provider in a building, we can build more clear communication, more efficient care for everybody, more success for staff members, family members, and residents. And all residents can have access to all of our resources. So it just makes sense. And we're going to be working very closely with families and with staff members to explain our many systems, explain how we communicate, what we are, what we're not, how we do things. A lot of things are going to be on our website. A lot of things are going to be on our app. There's a lot of resources that we can't roll out all at once because it's going to be too much for everybody. So there'll be a systematic way that you have access to more and more things and more resources. So stay on top of those things and stay tuned. And while we're not perfect, I do have very high expectations of myself and my staff. I perform like an airline. For me, 90% is not good enough. I aim for 100% all the time. And so if something doesn't work out, I will work to either communicate, to correct, or to improve, to make sure the expectations and the systems are perfectly in place. When it comes to insurance, if a person is on regular Medicare, there is no transition, there's no issue, it's instant. And the person can keep their clinic outpatient doctors, and we'll do the heavy lifting within the building. Advantage plans are a little bit trickier. You have to switch to me as the primary care, and we'll be working with some insurance brokers to help that transition happen. And again, we'll be able to take over and do the heavy lifting for things. I understand that even good change is a stress. And so I look forward to getting to know each of you and for you to get to know our team. And we look forward to earning your trust and earning your respect. I don't expect that to happen instantly because you don't know us. So that will hopefully change sooner than later. And while you may not see me regularly in person, you will know that I am constantly supervising, I'm constantly coordinating all of our resources, and I'm dealing with the most complicated cases, but I have my finger on the pulse of everybody all the time. And when you communicate with our staff, it's through one number. We have a text line, we have a hotline, and you'll find that you can access us and get things done very efficiently and effectively. I'm going to see all of you hopefully soon at staff and family events, and I look forward to meeting each of you in person. We're going to look at each patient individually, take a fresh look at their medications, and for each person we build a unique care plan based on their needs and their values. Thanks a lot.